Two. I'm Nicole Song. I'm here to share with you 3 rituals to clear your head after a stressful message from your boss. And this came up because I've been working with some clients where this has actually come up quite a bit. And whenever things are coming up quite a bit, I just know there's a theme and I start to listen in and see what it is that people need. And so this is something I think that comes up generally frequently anyway. And if for whatever reason, it's just a particularly pertinent issue right now for many folks. And so I wanted to come in and talk about this and talk about what it is and what it takes for each of us to be able to handle that situation, because it's really bringing up what is already true about life anyway, which is there's always some uncertainty. And there's always other people who are impacting our ability to navigate our lives. So what do you do when you're starting to face a situation where someone else is coming in and it's affecting your ability to navigate your life and how you're doing things? So I wanted to share with you my first ritual if you're in the situation. And it's really actually to build in time. And when I say build in time, I don't mean you have to go build in like a whole hour-long yoga class to be able to deal with this. Although if you can do that, I would never tell you not to do that. But really, how can you start to learn to build in 30 to 60 seconds in a situation like that, where you can actually do something about it to help yourself before you respond? So building in time is really the first step. Like, how do you start to set this ritual in place that you build in time as soon as you get something from your boss that's really actually stressing you out? And this could apply to anything. You get a stressful text from your mom, you get something stressful from a sibling, from your spouse, or something about your kids. So building in time is really a huge part of this. You start to give yourself the opportunity to pause for a moment before diving into a reaction or something, or saying something that's really not going to be supportive or helpful to you. And the reason all of this would even matter to begin with is because if you are stressed out, then it starts to affect your team. It affects your relationship with your boss. It affects your ability to be with your partner or your spouse. It affects the way you parent, right? So one of these things, one little moment, like a stressful text from message from your boss, is going to start this cascade of stress reactions that go into all these other ones. So what we're looking to do is to start to nip it in the bud a little bit earlier, right? So the first step is to build in the time. Again, 30 to 60 seconds is really all that you need. Step two to uh, Step two to dealing and clearing your mind after a stressful message or text from your boss is one of my favorites. So this is an energy touch point, and you just touch the top of your head. That's it. It's really simple. It brings you into the now. It brings you into the present. I do it with both hands. So I start with my right, and then I switch and I put my left hand on top of my head. And that's it. It's so simple. Before I would respond or do anything, I put my hand on my head, I get grounded. And in that moment, okay, now I can actually go on to step 3, the third ritual. The third ritual to get clear after a stressful message would be to clarify commitment. I clarify my commitment. So if you are feeling like really stressed out about whatever it is that your boss messaged you, you could be clarifying commitment around, okay, I'm going to clarify my commitment into my relationship with my boss. I might be clarifying my commitment into how do I respond and navigate whatever challenge she may have brought up. Perhaps he or she sent a message criticizing a team member. You might be clarifying your commitment, that your commitment is to making sure that whatever happened with your team member really did happen. You might be clarifying commitment around protecting your team member. You might clarify your commitment to really getting to the bottom of what it is that's going on. Because it could be something happened with your team member. It could also be that something's happening for your boss and they're feeling very stressed about that. So you might clarify the commitment and then ask a good follow-up question, being like, hey, what's going on here? What's the real question here? Did this not happen in the time frame that we said it would? Right? So how do you start to use clarifying commitment to get yourself reconnected, to get yourself back into grounding, and then to get yourself back into a way that you can actually respond to your boss rather than going into a stress reaction, which might be like, oh, it's about me, I've screwed up, I'm going to get fired, all those kind of dramatic things that we might start to go into and spiral down from. So when you are working on this into how do I clear my head after being in a stressful message or conversation with my boss, ritual number 1 is you just learn to take a pause, 30 to 60 seconds. Ritual 2, hand on the head. Ritual 3, clarify commitment. See what this is really about, get clear, and then you can move on with your day. All right. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a beautiful day.